It was one of the most frightening things to say to a black child growing up in Maryland, and black parents would use it as a very effective threat.
You are told by your family that if you don't behave, you're going to Crownsville. This was a place you didn't want to go.
Crownsville. The official name? The Hospital for the Negro Insane at Crownsville.
It was a farm colony. It was self-sufficient. They raised their own food. They made their own clothes. And they worked with the contractors to build the hospital.
That's Janice Hayes Williams, and she'll tell us why she's on a mission to name the dead at Crownsville in Blackland.
And now,
as a brown person, you just feel so invisible.
That's not fiction. Where we're from.
Brothers and sisters, I welcome you to this joyful day.
We celebrate freedom. Where we are.
Get on the ground!
I know someone heard something.
And where we're going.
We the people means all the people.
The Black Information Network presents Blackland with your host, Vanessa Tyler.
No one really cares about the dead, especially people you don't even know who died so long ago. But Janice Hayes Williams cares about the souls at Crownsville. Miss Janice, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
First, let's step back a bit to 1912 in the psychiatric segregated facility that was Crownsville. Describe Crownsville for us, which was Maryland's only mental asylum for Black patients.
So the hospital actually started 1911 in a willow plant. The state of Maryland bought 3 properties. One had a willow plant. Willow production, making baskets and chairs and wicker things. So when they bought the land, there was nothing there but the willow plant. And the first 12 patients lived there, and guess what? Continued willow production with revenues going to the state.
Free labor.
And yes, they were the labor. And the patients actually built the whole hospital with contractors. This is the only mental hospital that we have found in the whole country where the patients built their own hospital. So picture that, from the woods to this phenomenal campus, great buildings of all kinds. And this is the Maryland legacy that people want to forget, but we're not going to.
Wow. When it was founded in 1911, it was called the Hospital of the Negro Insane, Crownsville. Was it a dangerous place? What was the care like there for the people?
So consider 1911. The people who are coming have been in jails, houses, not having any care. So this place was a place to get some care, but all of the doctors and nurses were white. There was a barrier there. And from 1911, believe this or not, most of the people who came there had tuberculosis. Nobody was really mentally ill until it was time to build. That's when you see the convicts being released from jails. They needed their bodies.
Needed their bodies in more ways than one, not just for labor. Janice Hayes Williams says what was done to Black people then was in a way why some Black people have a sense of doctor distrust to this day. She says the bodies were also needed for medical experiments, including illnesses like syphilis. Black patients were human guinea pigs at Crownsville.
So from a quiet place to building, by the 30s and 40s, it's a place of experimentation of all kinds. Everything you can think about: electroshock therapy, cold water therapy. And I happen to know because I wanted the nameless to have a name. So I have seen every death certificate at Crownsville State Hospital since 1911.
The nameless, buried only by number. So many graves.
Well, the asylum closed, I guess, was 2004. So from all those years, like you said, 1911, I'm guessing to 2004, Black people who died were buried on the premise if no family claimed the body. These people were buried with just a number. What was it about that that made you move into action?
Children. Imagine a ward of children unwanted that never went home.
Then there were the elderly, thrown in as well.
You have to remember anybody in your family that's deformed or can't be cared for at home, they went there. Elder care. Somebody called me, "Oh, Miss Janice, I'm looking for my grandmother." They said she went to a nursing home in Crownsville. I said, "Sweetheart, that was not a nursing home." So the stories are coming through. We got a story of a former slave when she was no longer able to work. Slavery is over. She's taking care of the family, and they put her in Crownsville.
Early on, many of the doctors and nurses were white, but Janice says that changed. Black nurses came in around the 1960s, and she says patient care got much better. Some really needed Crownsville to help with their mental care.
It was hard. I was confused, didn't know if I could continue on.
Reverend Sonia King was institutionalized in Crownsville as a teen for depression. She tells NBC she made it through and got the help she needed. Life is better now. She's even answered her calling.
Just because you go through something doesn't mean that's the end.
It is not the end, even for those buried on the grounds, because Janice Hayes Williams is on a mission to put a name to those numbers. It's personal to her. Respect of the ancestors is in her DNA.
I come from a family that always respected the burial places of our family. So with that in mind, seeing that for the first time was nothing I had ever seen before. A number, no legacy. Whose grandma is this? Whose cousin is this? Whose wife is this? And I went with my uncle who used to care for Rural Hill Cemetery in Annapolis. We were there together, stunned. And all we thought about was that these people had been brought there and were disposed of.
How did you go about getting the names from the numbers from those who were buried from 1911 until 1965?
So when we asked for the records, the state of Maryland told us that there was no record. So there's only one way to find out who died, and that is to scour the death certificates for your particular county. So I corralled volunteers here and there. I said, let's go do this. So think about this. Every year has 12 months. Every month has a record for that county. So you have to go through all of the records for that county for that month. So there's a record for every month, for every year, and we started with 1910 and stopped in 1970 to make sure we got all of the records.
So they have the names, and now for celebration.
Say my name loud, say my name Clear, say my name, so all will know.
Every year they have a Say My Name ceremony, but the big plan is turning this hospital ground into a memorial.
We decided to ask the state of Maryland to help fund a memorial with all the names. We found 1,727 names from 26 states. Somebody is looking for somebody in their family that just disappeared. They're at Crownsville. So the state prepared a bond bill to erect this memorial.
If you want to help, go to thefriendsofcrownsvillehospital.org. And for a complete history of the place, read the book Madness by author-journalist Antonia Hilton.
What exactly will the memorial look like?
The memorial is a wall. It's black granite, 16 tons, with 1,700 plus names. On that memorial is the year of death, the age, and the state that you came from. We do have some people from Santo Domingo, from France, different countries as well. This has been a long road, and there's so many hands in this. But for the legacy, I feel like this is the beginning of healing in a very, very bad place.
The healing is not yet complete because there are others who need to be recognized too.
I feel like this is restorative justice. So I feel better. I can relax. But I have another memorial coming, Vanessa. Once this one is put down, there's another memorial to those who became cadavers for medical science. And that is going to be happening in 2025.
The bodies that have been sacrificed for science, do you know whether any of those bodies led to any medical breakthroughs? How would you find that information? Or we just know that they were used by medical students?
I believe that Johns Hopkins has that information. Think about this. All those experiments led to the medicine that we take.
Janice Hayes Williams, historian and organizer behind the When They Say My Name Memorial. Their souls are thanking you, and so do we.
Thank you. Thank you.
Will they ever know that I was here? Will it ever show that I was here?
I'd love to hear what you think. Reach out at Vanessa Tyler 1 on Instagram. I'm Vanessa Tyler. Join me next time on Blackland.